Good morning and good afternoon, and I think good evening. My name is Dr. Shannon Bruce Ramaka, and I am the founder of the Visionary Ed team, and we are so excited to meet with you today. And just to let you know that this is being recorded for history and also for people who aren't my two people who cannot be with us today, who are on the West Coast of America. So just to let you know ahead of time to get us started, but we hope today, the purpose of our presentation today is really to get to know everyone face to face, because when you do a project like this that's really expanding the world, one of the most exciting things is that you get to see the other people that you're working with. And we also hope that we're going to clarify what we're going to be doing in 13 sessions together. And we hope that we hear a little bit about you. And so Jennifer is going to actually help my team get to know you a little bit. And so Jennifer, if you'd like to start us off this morning, tell us a little bit about your school and you. And
Thank you. So first of all, we are so happy to be having this session with you guys, and very, very, grateful for your time. With regards to legacy, a little bit about us. We are a fairly young school, you can say. Legacy itself is about 12 years in now, but everything started back in 1987 as a very small Montessori school out of the founder's home. Everything really stems from the heart of Montessori. With regards to, where we stand today, we've really been on a fantastic journey of growth to really deliver a great quality international holistic education for children today. Our team is fantastic. They are passionate. They are dedicated, hard workers. They truly believe in the values that we stand for as a school in terms of being able to provide the best to students. When we talk about student discovery, we talk about, or the learning process, we at school really believe strongly in our vision and mission. The short version of it is learn, reflect, discover, and evolve. And there's so much that we talk about with these 4 words. Our entire community is so familiar with these words, and that's something that we are confident of, that every student is aware of, every faculty member, our parents know it, because we really resonated well. And in terms of our students, well, we want our students to learn, reflect, discover, and evolve. We as educators continue to do the same. And that's something that with this process as well, that we're really looking forward to you guys to be able to help, our leaders to be able to continue to do the same thing. And we're really excited to take it forward. Working together collaboratively and sharing best practices, sharing experiences, just makes us better together. And we're really looking forward to this great year forward. And one of our mottos this year is definitely better together. And so we're looking forward to working with you guys. So thank you.
Well, Jennifer, thank you so much. It's really such a privilege to learn about your mission and vision in your school. And I've been so excited to share it with the rest of my team. You really have a special school, and it's exciting for us to be a part of it. This is a little snapshot of our team. And, it's interesting that your motto this year is better together, because this is really how our whole team came to be. And in fact, in my first conversation with Jennifer, I was interested in supporting all of you. And as an individual, or if I was a head of school, this kind of role, I could help each of you individually, support each of you. But it's really not the same as having a team that has experience in the role that you're currently in and can really listen really deeply and connect with you. And so our team started during COVID in 2020 in May. I had just finished my doctorate degree, and my focus in dissertation was on supporting collaborative teams around the world within an international context. And I reached out to about 13 colleagues around the world, amazing educational leaders and teachers, and we started meeting regularly. And with the idea of how can we support teachers and leaders going through COVID. We did webinars. We started a project that connected my student teachers in the Netherlands with the school in Wisconsin. And we've actually been really active, but this is our first attempt to do buddy coaching where we are joining each one of our visionary ed people with you. And so I thought that we would just share a little bit. We'd introduce ourselves, and so you can get to know us as a team. You know my name, and I was just counting up today. This is my 9th country that I've lived in. That's shocking. I visited 44 countries, and my first best friend was Indian, and one of those countries that I visited was India. And even today, I can say 2 of my best friends are Indian. So it's interesting, this cultural connection I feel with India, even though I haven't lived there. I've taught all ages of students. Most recently, I was the leader of a teaching education program in the Netherlands. Prior to that, I was the head of school in Kosovo for 5 years, a principal in IB school in Turkey, and a leader in Morocco at an AP school. So just briefly, that's me. And I would say, though, what makes me most passionate about educational leadership is I do believe that it's our diversity that is our strength, and learning how to facilitate great teams is really what makes educational improvement sustainable. You can have one leader that comes in and has a lot to give and a lot of experiences, but as soon as that leader leaves, then things can just fall apart. And so really, we know this through research that that teams make sustainable improvement. And so that's really my passion. So Inez, would you introduce yourself?
Yes, Shannon, I can go next. Thank you very much for having me. This is very exciting for me as well. Thank you, Shannon, for setting this up. I would say this is probably the best thing that came out of COVID. So I really appreciate our international connection. A little bit about myself. I was trained and raised in Austria, Europe. I actually went to the United States. I've lived more of my adult life on the West Coast of the United States. I went there when I was 21, and I just recently, 4 years ago, came back to Austria when this opportunity presented itself as head of secondary at this IB continuum school in Felden in Austria. So I'm home, but part of me is never really home anymore. So I'm sure many of you know the feeling. That's why I'm so well placed in an international environment, because I can so much relate of people who feel displaced, even though they are, you know, in different places and have lived different places in the world. My background, academic background, is I have a master's in special education. So I was a trained special educator in K through 8th grade. And then I'm starting my master's of leadership. I started it last year. So I'm working towards this, and I've been a school counselor here in our small school in Austria the 2 previous years. This is my 3rd year as head of secondary. That's basically it. One of my biggest sources also, and this might sound cheesy, but are my 4 boys. I have 4 teenage boys that I'm raising on the side or within my career. So this has been a very interesting journey. And so I love the multiple perspective. I love the parents' perspective, the teacher's perspective, counselors. So I'm really drawing from multiple sources of information, and just trying to always have one thing in mind: how our children can grow, because this is really basically why we have school. So this is always, I'm going around, is it beneficial for the children? I would say that's my big mantra.
Great. Rebecca, since you're, sorry, Robin, are you there? I know it's so early where you are. I saw you a
I
little
am
bit.
here.
Great.
How are you all?
Great.
My name is Robin Conrad Hansen. I've been in education now 38 years. I've been preschool through 12th grade, through high school. Enjoyed every level. Currently, I'm a professor of practice at Northern Arizona University. Like Shannon, I've been able to travel. I've not lived in other countries, but I've been able to travel quite extensively, supporting schools and leaders around the world. Enjoy continuing that, and I'm so looking forward to our opportunity with all of you. Um, and I am I have 4 grandchildren. Love them dearly. So my passion for education continues to make sure education is the best for all of our children, whether in the United States or abroad. So grateful to be working with you. I know I'll be learning right along with you, and look forward to getting to know you better.
Thank you, Robin. Thank you. And Christina.
Hi, everyone. I feel very honored to be here with you today. Thank you, Shannon, for giving us this wonderful opportunity to be connected with the other part of the world. My name is Ana Cristina Oliveira Medeiros. I am Portuguese. I live in the middle of the Atlantic Ocean for now. I'm a world traveler too. I visit many countries, and I lived for 5 years in Kosovo, where I had the privilege to meet Shannon. I am passionate about meeting other cultures, and I like a lot integrating diversity. I've been in education for more than 20 years. In many roles. I've started as a teacher. I've been a course director, class director, parents representative, pedagogical director of a vocational school. And I worked with Shannon on after school activities program in Kosovo. I believe to believe in the power of education. Thank you.
Thank you, Christina. Thank you. And so I'm trying to think, all of us here have children. All of the Visionary Ed team women with us today have children. So actually here is Jeanette. She made this quick video for us because she's in California right now.
Can't hear her.
Okay, and you know what I think at the very beginning, I didn't select the, okay, yeah, I don't think, I can't stop the recording and do this. Okay, here we go. Let's try now.
Canada, USA, and
Yes.
New Zealand. I want to thank you for the opportunity to be a coach with your school, and also to Dr. Shannon Ramaka. And just to give you a little opinion on my view of coaching, I love it because it gives me the support that I need when I'm coached. So
to each of these introductions, there's a little bit of a common thread of reciprocity, in that we know that we often learn when we're teaching, and the purpose of our time together is that we want to support teacher leaders within the school, that because we know that that will have the greatest impact on children. So this is a brief purpose statement that is on our website that tells you a little bit that I've just shared with you. So professional learning communities throughout the world have been working on collaboration, but the focus of their work has been What are students learning? How do we know what learning has occurred? How will we respond when learning has not occurred? And how will we respond when learning has occurred? And so these 4 driving questions were created by the Dufours, who are very famous within the PLC collaborative movement. But there's a school district in California in the early 2000s who used these to, let me go back, to use these to drive a school improvement. And so maybe this is not the slide that I wanted to talk about. Okay, so here, this is one of my favorite pictures. And when I talk about is the relationship in our commitment to collaboration. So if you look at this woman or the adult, it could be a mother, it could be any other adult who's actually sitting on the floor and her feet are on the floor. It's kind of a natural setting. And she's looking with enthusiasm, with encouragement, with open hands. And then you see this child who's walking, and obviously this child is learning to walk. They're not running. So you can see they're in an early stage of learning something new. Look at how focused that young child is. She's focused and calm, moving forward. And I just love this exchange between both of these. And so it's interesting that all of the people in Visionary Ed hold this belief, is that we want to be supportive to you. We are going to listen very carefully. We have an idea of the direction that you can go, that you will be successful. And we will do research for you. We will ask questions that challenge you. But most, we want you to know that our highest intention is to support you, just like this adult here is. So in the end of our time, or actually once a month, I will do a report and share it with the senior leadership team of Legacy, which tells them what we're working on. So what goals you're working on. So for instance, we will start with SMART goals, or personal goals for yourself. And we can look at what you've done in the past. If you've been at Legacy, we can look at the goals of the school as well. We're going to look at 4 other areas that you can grow as a professional leader, growing a team in your school. But in the end, we will ask you to do a self-reflection on these goals. And that self-reflection is what will be shared with the senior management. But the process between is all confidential. And it has to be that way, because you need to know that you have a safe place to kind of admit and share what are the areas that you need to grow. And so that we can best help you. Do you have any questions about confidentiality? I'm going to share the next couple slides. We'll show a little bit more about the surveys that we will be doing monthly. But do you have any question about that? Anyone? Okay. So being in an organization where you believe that you're better together, and that you know that you want to create an organization that is highly active and engaged and collaborative and really focused on student learning, there are different leadership goals. And so if we look at the first one, if we want to know at the end of our time, we want to say you've either really grown as a leader or you have these characteristics of being a great leader. One of the first goals is, can you create a shared sense of purpose and direction in your department or your division? And how do you do that? So we can offer some strategies and tips for you. But we know that you, within your own organization, when we're together, you're going to have a lot of ahas. You're going to think, oh, I could do this, or I could do this, because maybe then I'll be able to help my whole division take on a direction that's in alignment with the school direction and vision. You know, one of the things I learned in map testing is that if you want to have great success with students in their learning, particularly if students are below grade level, you need 3 consecutive years of great teaching and learning. So when we think that sometimes we get stuck in our own division, we think we focus just on elementary, or we focus just on middle school, or we focus just on high school. And actually to find that, for students to reach that higher capacity of achievement, it has to be bridged together. So if you're a 5th grader, you're going into 6th grade. Maybe your 5th grade, that was the first year you started cruising because you had a teacher that really understood where your goals were. Well, then what happens in 6th grade, right? Or if you're in 8th grade, what happens in 9th grade? So grade schools have some cohesion between these divisions, between subject areas, and sometimes it seems like a waste of time to know other people's areas. One of the things I always struggled with, I personally was an IB theater teacher, and as a head of school, I always had specialty areas, the PE department, the theater department, the arts department. They never wanted to really be in some meetings. So as leaders, we need to help them know that our meetings are meaningful for them. And at the same time, we have to develop the way to persuade them. So look at this one, persuading people to follow agreed upon goals, helping with providing strategies if it's needed. Sometimes in a meeting, I would sit down with the PE department, and I would use a lot of my time facilitating department meetings during a whole staff meeting, just so that I could be working to persuade that PE department that their role was important in the community. So this is another great goal, enhancing engagement and self-efficacy among staff members. So self-efficacy, meaning, you know, this really is why we do what we do, is we know we have an impact on our students. And how do we know that? And when we know that, when we see their growth and their achievement, we feel great about our work. And then we want to be more and more engaged. So how as leaders are we increasing the engagement and that teachers know that they're making a difference and they see a difference? The goals that Legacy has, the learn, reflect, discover, and evolve, are so right on for gaining this self-efficacy. And how we reflect using data, I would say, isn't always an area that schools can grow in. And what is that data that we collect? So these will be the goals, I would say, that are the direction for our project together. And then underlying all of these goals, we know as a leader that you will need to grow in your emotional intelligence. There's just no other way you can get around it, is that we have to become more self-aware and reflective of what's going on inside ourselves and what's also happening outside of ourselves. So I would say we're going to be looking for these targets, but then also we'll be seeing how are you growing on the inside. Does that make any sense? A little bit? Okay. So one of the people that I've studied in fostering professional learning teams is Hargraves and Fullen. And what they have found is that the reason we do this, again, is this improved student learning. We're expanding the quality of teaching. And actually, we find that teachers want to stay where they are when they're making these kind of meaningful contributions and growth that they see. Okay, so we're going to do 13 sessions together. Those sessions will be about an hour long. And we're going to begin our first session. We're going to reach out to you. The Visionary Ed team is going to initiate an email to you after this meeting to see a time that is good for you to meet. And in that meeting, you will meet individually with one Visionary Ed person, and you'll just get to talk a little bit about your school, what are your goals for the year, getting to know each other's session. If it looks like you're going to dive right into work and it feels like after that first session, you just really want to get going, you can. But really the first meeting, we expect it to be logistical. Just getting to know each other and looking at your time zone differences and how you can connect. So in these buddy coaching sessions, we'll identify areas for growth. It's really important that you're as honest as possible with yourself and with your coach. You're going to get as much out of this as really you're willing to open up to. And then next, so trusting in the confidentiality of your coach, and then scheduling a regular meeting time. So getting to know you a little bit. So if I was physically present with you, I would gather these 13 people together and I would say, now maybe in your division, maybe elementary division, middle school or high school division, or in your department, science department, arts department, special education department, I would ask you, what are 3 words that you would use to describe your division or department now? And then I would ask you to reflect and think, what would be 3 words you would use at the end of this year? Or if you want to say 2 years or 5 years. And then reflect about you as the leader being the bridge between the now and the future. And what is that going to require of you? So if I can, I'll use this example with Inez, because Inez is here. So we were talking before the call and I said, so Inez, what are 3 adjectives that you would use to describe your division right now? And she said collaborative and active. And the third one was, it wasn't scattered. What was it, Inez?
It was sometimes chaotic.
Sometimes chaotic. Okay. So then I said, okay, so where would you like to be in the future? Well, she'd like to be active. Okay, that's active, engaged. And we want to be collaborative. And then, but she's saying, I want to have more structure. I don't want it to be so chaotic. So then you think, okay, well, who am I as a leader? So I need to have these skills that help people in the process of collaboration. Maybe there will be a need for mediation. Maybe there will be a need to learn more about collaboration. Maybe I need to read those couple books or reach out to those people who are great at collaborating and see what I can do with my schedule. But mostly, if I'm the leader that's taking my team from here to there, and they're saying it's chaotic, that's a difficult, who do I need to be? And so when I was talking a little bit about that emotional intelligence, for sure, I need to understand, how do I function in an environment that can sometimes be chaotic? And actually, sometimes I can get scattered, or you've seen some leaders, sometimes they get frustrated. I was talking with someone else the other day, and she was saying that her boss, the first greeting, she said, don't you see that I'm talking to somebody else? So it was the first greeting of the year. The employee came into the office, wanted to say hello, and we know what it's like to be interrupted many times during the day. But this happened to be a school counselor, and her welcome to the new year after being gone for a year and a half was, excuse me, I'm talking to someone. And so that's kind of a difficult environment. So it's chaotic. Who are we in a chaotic environment, and how do we work and bring that organization towards the final end? So I'd love to, let me check on the time. Oh, we're doing great. So with the people on the call, I'm thinking I don't have the Zoom capacity to put you into rooms right now. So I actually think I'll call on one, whoever's going to volunteer, but we need at least 3 volunteers who are going to share where they think their division, I think we want division, you can say division or school or department. Okay, so just, you're going to introduce yourself, say hello, who you are, and you think that 3 adjectives to describe your division or department or school is, and then where would you like to be at the end of the year? And what do you think as a leader it will take of you to stretch and bridge that? if you have any questions about that, let me try to explain. I can try to explain again. Okay. So, and what we'll do is we'll just take a volunteer to go if you have that right away. Otherwise, we can give a few minutes. If you can indicate on your screen if you're ready to share, or you can just blurt in. But we're going to be stuck here until we get 3 participants.
I would like to go.
Perfect. Great. Thank you.
So I'm the coordinator for the primary or the elementary, as you would say. So the 3 words that describe us right now, I would say would be family, interdependence, and collaboration. The 3 words that I would like to see, come in would be collaboration again.
Mhm.
And I would keep the family, and I would want to add a growth mindset. So that's something I would like to add.
And then where do you think you will need to grow in order to help bring that in?
I think, this one goal that you were talking about really, stood out to me was a shared sense of purpose. When I feel like that's the area that I should be working on, is having a shared goal. I mean, maybe the goals we come up with we do it together, but are we working on those goals together as well? So I feel if I bring in that shared sense of purpose, that we all are working towards the same goal, I can bring in, that sense of growth, or that sense of, looking out of your comfort zone to see in which areas do I need to grow, or which areas do I need to work on, and like you said, going back and reflecting on our practices, looking at that and being more self-aware of, am I directing my team in the right way? Things like, something, I don't know if it makes sense. So, but yes.
It's really wonderful that you noticed that. I think growth mindset is almost like the first milestone to embracing learning capacity. And so 1 year I gave Carolyn Dweck's book to all my staff for reading it. Can you say how familiar your staff is with the concept of growth mindset?
I think maybe average. I mean, I don't know how to put it on a scale, but I'm sure they are aware of it, but when we talk about our learn, reflect, discover, evolve, I think that we kind of get stuck between the reflection and the discovering level, where we know these things, right? But are we have we reached that level where we are being able to reflect on how are we doing it personally, is where I kind of get stuck sometimes, where I feel like going back and looking at yourself. I mean, that's where, I think.
Really powerful, really powerful. Thank you so much for being the first one to jump in and share. Brave woman. Thank you.
Thank you.
Is that Anthony? Is that right?
Yes.
Okay, great. Anthony, would you share yours, please?
Sure. Hi, Dr. Shannon.
Hi.
Good morning, and the Vision team. Thank you so much for collaborating with us, and we're looking forward to working with you and grow as leaders. So the 3 words that came to my mind with regards to my section was, one is definitely collaborative, which again Chitra also shared. The second is subject experts. So in terms of our content, in terms of our subject knowledge, all our team members are quite good. They are able to deliver their subjects confidently. The third thing which came to my mind, which was again very similar to Chitra, was growth mindset. But now here, when I say growth mindset, I would put it in terms of intention, and differentiate it in terms of intention implementation. In a sense, we may not have a concrete plan to grow as such, but in terms of our intentions, we are good. So providing that direction to grow and nurture that growth mindset is what is required, I would say, and that I would put it as a bridge there. And the three words I would describe my team maybe at the end of the year, maybe one is growing in terms of understanding our shared purpose, and secondly, being empowered to deliver maybe concept-based pedagogy, which is of course a growing trend in education. So to bridge this two together, presently my role, or rather the role that I'm in presently, is more firefighting on a regular basis. So we have a problem, we fix it. We have a problem, we fix it. But what's required maybe to bringing about a meaningful change, a long-term change that would impact, as you would say, even in our absence, there will be structures in place that would impact the whole department in terms of smooth transition or smooth flow.
Great. Yeah, it's really great. You've tapped into a global theme, and actually implementing this, I would have to say schools all around the world are in that process of looking at how do we apply inquiry-based learning? How do we make it, when do we look at skill building? When do we, how do we embed that? And how is this being sustainable? Yeah. Great questions. Now, I think there was two. You're saying understanding the mission and vision of the school within your division, and then you're saying concept-based curriculum, really having that embedded. And was there a third, Anthony, that I missed?
Yes, I said I used the word empowered.
Empowered. Okay.
Yeah, in the context of again, once again, it's about I'll just give a simple example in terms of our class teachers, right? A lot of responsibilities were shared by us coordinators, but now we see that our class teachers are handling a lot more. So we want that to be we want to empower our team members as well in that context. So eventually, those firefighting movements are shared by our team members, and we can focus on a larger goal.
Great. So when you think about you as a leader and encouraging that empowerment, is there something that comes up as a characteristic for you to focus on in yourself?
Yes. So I think I use the phrase bringing about a meaningful change there, a long-term meaningful change, which yes. It's in process, I would say. Yes, at times we begin something, but we don't see the street to completion. It's in process maybe. So yes, that's one area where we need to bring about that change. For example, let's say I was talking about concept-based learning. We are doing it. We are doing it at a certain level, but to further strengthen it and actually talk about it with confidence, or rather deliver it in my classroom or among my team members, that would require a long-term plan.
So I'm thinking about what encouragement looks like in your school, and what does it look like in India, and how encouragement looks in different cultures I've lived. Okay. In Kosovo, I really wanted to do annual teacher awards to recognize teachers who stepped out in professional development, who stepped out extra in new programs, who stepped out extra in supporting students, okay? And I had 16 different awards, and I thought that this would be really encouraging and rewarding and supporting people to kind of step up into places. And what I found actually was that we weren't ready for that. There was in the culture that I was, it wasn't acceptable. It was considered you're standing out against your peers. And so it wasn't a compliment. and actually it was divisive. So when we look at how you're going to empower and bring about this empowerment, it's just interesting to think about, how do you do that? How do you do encouragement in your school and your culture? And if you have any ideas about that now, you could share, or we could just go on and just let this be something that we really think about. I am interested in, this example that I gave, was it interesting to you? Do you find any relevance? Do you find any relevance?
Yes. Even I think we do have some practices in place where we appreciate our team members. Particularly, I would say, we did have a appreciation tree also in the physical space where we used to appreciate our team members if there was anything done. Be it in terms of any events that happen in the school. Okay, we make sure that at the end of the day we have a kind of a short message sent out, maybe on WhatsApp, email, just to recognize the person. At the end of the year as well, we have a kind of appreciation evening to appreciate the work we have done over the course of the year. So yes, definitely we do have practices where we encourage and appreciate our team members.
Okay, and my question is that effective?
It is effective to a certain extent, definitely yes. But in terms of I would say it could be personal and subjective also here. What each person is looking for in terms of appreciation, in terms of encouragement. So in that context, yes, it's quite subjective. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay, interesting. Thank you so much for sharing. Okay, we have another friend who's ready, and I don't see your name, but go ahead. Let's see.
Hi, I'm Sandhya.
Okay.
And I oversee the middle school in Legacy. And thank you. The best part here is the theme for Legacy is Better Together. And we are with the we team that I see here. So it's wonderful to be together and collaborate with all of you to share and exchange and learn better. If I were to, I always prefer having acronyms, and I always try to come up. And this is something that just struck my mind because we are the bridge between the primary and the high school. And what I see with the teachers or the team that I have is the word APE. Now, how you want to take it is different, but that's how it is. So A stands for the agile, P stands for passionate, and E stands for the enthusiastic theme that I have. Definitely, yes, the way we are right now is it's a wonderful bunch of people, always ready to collaborate with each other, exchange their ideas, thoughts, and learnings with each other. That's the team that I have right now. Very excited to share that. Where are we looking at in a couple of years from now? And I think that's the same that I've mentioned in my goal that's set as well. I pick up the words from Chitra, and that's wonderful to see that we are again better together without even knowing about these and not having discussed this before. Where I've mentioned it in my goal set about the growth mindset, but was another question as well. Where we're speaking about the empowering of each individual in our team. So one effort that we tried and put in to our team last year was to encourage and empower each one of them to whatever capacities they are capable of showcasing to the whole team. So that was something that was called as Clash of Pedagogies. The clash may sound a little negative, but it was taken very positively. And each one brought in their learning to a platform to exchange with each other, and particularly those of them who never had an open platform to interact or to share their learning. So that was something which seemed very positive, and would definitely like to continue with that. And another aspect of believing in themselves and reflecting upon their practices and the culture that we exchange with each other. So that's something that we're really looking forward to learn more and be more reflective about our practices. that's from me.
Great, great. So
May
learning,
I add something, Shannon?
yes, please.
I have to say, the longer this call goes on, the more exciting I get. And I cannot wait. I already met PYP coordinator and MYP coordinator. I cannot wait for us to exchange ideas and strategies and talk about our year together. And it seems like you're right up my alley with the distributed leadership. So I'm very, very happy about this and can't wait to share with you.
Thank you, thank you. We are equally excited. I don't know to pronounce your name. Ines, I'm sorry.
Yeah, Ines.
Ines, okay, yes. Thank you so much for that comment, Robin. Thank you very much. Yes, we are actually a wonderful, passionate team.
Great. Thank you so much. Okay, and we see someone else ready?
Thank you.
Yes. Oops.
Hello, I'm Divya Dev. Thank you for this opportunity. So I oversee inclusive education department. The minute Ines said I am from special education background, I was so happy to know that. So I would like to, when I talk about my department, I would like to use 3 words. The first one being supportive, second one being growth mindset, third one being collaborative. So supportive, because maybe everyone comes from the background of special education and psychology, clinical psychology, different psychology background. I would say everyone in the department is very caring and very supportive. Growth mindset I have mentioned here because everyone, every day they want to learn something. Any initiative we take, everyone is supportive. And collaborative, we are collaborative, and I would like to say that mostly because our job, we have to collaborate with the parents, with the teachers. It is the expectation that is from the department. That's why we are collaborative. So what I want to achieve after an year is confident. Though everyone is growth mindset, none of us are confident to come forward and share the information that we know. And we have visited a couple of schools in last 2 years, and also now collaborating with different schools to find out how inclusive department functions there. And I'm very happy to say thanks to the management also for giving all the guidance and freedom to do whatever we want. I would say that we are also at par with the other international schools, and in certain aspects we are really good. But we are not confident enough to go and showcase our abilities to others, or we are not confident enough to conduct workshops for others. So I would like to be, one is confident, second one is contented, because we feel that, oh, what is that, something that we are not doing, something else we could have done, what is that? So we want to be contented. The third one, influencers. So since we are doing something, we would like to maybe, if not international schools or any schools, or because Legacy strongly believes in the community building. So anyone who is part of the community, we would like to be influencers and help them. So for that, we have to be confident. So that is my first point.
That's great. There's so many things I would like to say in connecting with you, but I want to give the floor to Christina, because I think Christina will be your partner. Christina, did you want to ask her any question or say anything?
Divya, thank you so much for sharing such a passionate vision of your team and the work you're doing. I am really excited with the words you choose, although some others already said. The way you explained them was really, really interesting. But I can't help thinking here of, I've never heard someone saying, we would like to be influencers. And I like this statement because it seems such a word. It's a word that is in trend, but we never use this in the educational field. How can we be influencers? Because we are, and I think confidence will come for sure in this year. I'm looking forward to work with you on that.
Thank you.
Great.
Thank you so much.
Great.
Dr. Shannon, I would like to take one more minute to explain what we exactly do about the example that you gave. So in Legacy, when we were doing teacher support, initially, like how you mentioned, we used to award teachers we used to felicitate those who win award. But now, thanks to management, we have come up with a new idea. In the beginning of the award function, everyone is felicitated. Department wise, we explain what they have contributed so that everyone is we include everyone. So it is the award function is itself is inclusive. So award everyone, and after that award those people who have done something extra.
Beautiful, beautiful. Thank you. It takes time to do this, but I think it's worth it. Great. Thank you. Is there anyone else that would like to share before we go on to our next getting to know you activity? I think was that
if
3?
I can add quickly, then
yeah, please.
I can do that.
Yes.
So I'm Swaroop. I'm the Education and Technology Coordinator, the EdTech Coordinator, probably. So I'll just share the 3 words that define our department right now. We are a team of a large team, but the core team is a team of 4 members. So the 3 words that define us is support, research, and learning. We research a lot, and then we also support the entire school, irrespective of teaching staff, non-teaching staff, with the tech. We also support teachers in terms of tech integration, learning, and to enhance our approaches to teaching and learning using technology. Right now, out of these 3 words, we would like to continue to have, in the next 2 years, we would like to see ourselves continue to have the word support, because as an EdTech team, it's really important to support each and every teacher and student, irrespective of where they are right now in the journey in terms of EdTech integration, whether they are just doing like substitution, or are they redefining the use of tech in terms of, so we would like to have the word support. But where we want to see ourselves is, from research, we want to move to the area of innovate, because we research a lot, we identify some key areas of improvement, we work with teachers, and we get huge support from all the team members. But there are a lot of, I would say, nuances, day-to-day nuances we have to work with to reach the innovation stage, or to have a sense of achievement in terms of where we are with EdTech integration. And replace the word learning with redefine, because we want to have we want to play technology to play a role of we want technology to play a role where we have redefined the way teachers teach and the students learn. So
wow. So how do you see yourself in this as a bridge between this year and next year, and the goals that you see for your team?
Though I'm new to the team internally, being a part of the system, but I could see a lot of we're building relationships with all the key stakeholders, like all the coordinators, class teachers. I think we want to continue to do it further, so that we can work together, because pedagogically they may have a set of approaches they would like to see translate into reality, and we want to play a role where technology is the bridge to see that happen. So
you know,
relationships is key. Relationship and collaboration is key, is what I would say.
It really is. And I think we've all been in schools where the IT people just put themselves in the back room and they shut the door and they say, send a computer ticket, send a ticket. Don't bother me, right? And so what's so hard is you have to be the center of the school when there's so much going on, and there's so much hardware and software and logistical things. But there's such a human dimension in education where you want to be to help integrate technology. It is such a human endeavor. So it really is like being all things to all people. And I see technology as the center of schools now. I mean, we can say library, research, technology, it's really all the same. It's the core of a school. So I'm glad to hear that you have a team of 4. That's amazing and exciting. So, you know, maybe you can really be that person that's on the ground connecting with people. It's a great goal.
Absolutely, yeah.
Great goal. Thank you.
Shannon, may I suggest a slight change in our plan? Just
Yes.
because I have to, you know, I have to stick
Yeah.
with my 1 hour. I have to go to my team that
we all do.
they've been
Yeah.
calling already. Where are you? So I've locked myself in my office for exactly 1 hour.
Okay.
And I need to go speak with the lunch ladies and the dismissals. You all know how schools work. So I'm going to keep this activity with my for my first team meetings. Yeah. And I will email you this afternoon, and we can see what this day would work well for me, just 1 hour earlier maybe. But I will give you options, and then you will just pick, okay? But I'm going to have to. Yes.
Could you, if you have 2 minutes, could you just could you just describe this? And then go, and then go. Okay.
Of course. So this is an activity I've done as a counselor, as a classroom teacher, as a head of secondary, as an MYP coordinator. I was never a PYP coordinator, but I know the distributed leadership very well. We're trying to build this in our second year at our school. And basically it is, Shanna, can you go to the next one? And we will do this with my team. We will do this slowly so you understand the activity and the purpose of this activity. You could really picture this as this is your, I always said, this is my school. This is an empty schoolhouse, yeah? And then the team leaders, they go into their teams, and then they have their team fill out and furnish the house, which means, and I'm gonna do this slowly with you next time, but basically it could be something like this, yeah? I use the IB learner profile because we're an IB continuum school. And so you could, you know, coming from a special education background, I need tactile, I need visuals, and you could hang this in your departments wherever you meet, you know. So you have to make sure that the core, you know, and this is something that I've heard in all of you guys talking, the shared sense of purpose, right? It's super important for functioning teams that you don't agree with anything, that's fine, but you have the big picture should be the same, right?